What gets tracked gets measured, and you're able to change. Yesterday, I was on an accountability call with within one of the classes that I'm taking. We have accountability partners for our business and what we're doing in our business and how we're helping clients, and then how we're going to change that, improve it, whatever. And part of the accountability call is testing out things and talking about our results with each other. And my accountability partner yesterday says to me, I know this is asking for free advice, and if you're comfortable with it, great. If you're not comfortable, tell me. And I was like, just ask the question. And she said, I'm struggling with my metabolism. And I said, okay, well, we know that you've had an autoimmune condition that affected your thyroid, and that you were heavily medicated for that at one time. So let me start with, when is the last time you had your labs done? And she's like, my labs look great. And I said, okay, but when is the last time you had them done? And she's like, it doesn't matter, they were with range and I have plenty of energy. And I said, stop making excuses. When's the last time you had your labs done? And she kind of rolled her eyes and looked away from the camera and said, a year ago, over a year ago. And I was like, oh, okay. So let's start with that. And she's like, what? And I said, your metabolism is part of your stress, which we know you have high stress right now. It's part of what's going on in your whole system, which you haven't measured in over a year. And it's part of what you do on a daily basis. And she's like, right, yeah. And I was like, okay. How many calories are you getting a day? And she's like, I have no idea. I just eat when I feel like eating, intuitively. And I said, okay, what would you tell your clients about that? And she's like, well, I'm eating healthy. I eat mostly carnivore. And I said, I don't care what you're eating. How much are you eating? And she's like, I eat when I'm hungry. And I was like, okay, again, I'm going to say this as if I'm talking to one of my clients. What gets tracked gets measured, and we are able to create change. You're asking me how I would support you with your metabolism, and I'm asking you the questions that I would ask someone who I'm supporting with their metabolism. We have no blood work. We have no idea what's going on in your system right now. We have no idea if your autoimmune disease is picking back up. We have no idea how your thyroid's functioning at all. And you came off your thyroid meds 8 months ago. And you came off all of your immune regulating meds a year ago. I have no problem with that, except that you have then chosen to not measure since then. So we need to measure that. And how many clients do you tell what gets tracked, gets measured, and changes? And she's like, all of them. And I said, okay, how about if you just track your food for a week? I'm not going to ask you to change anything else, but I'm going to ask you to track your food for a week. And she's like, I don't think it's that. I think it's stress. And I said, do you want help or do you not want help? Did you ask me for help, or did you ask me to let you make excuses so that you could validate how you're feeling? And she's like, no, I asked for help. And I said, okay, if you want my help, this is what I need from you. I need you to track for a week. I need you to get your thyroid labs run. And I need you to really be honest with yourself about if you believe that with what you are tracking, you are overextending your body and creating a cortisol mess. The tracking isn't about being neurotic about what you're sticking in your face. I have a client who every time he tracks a few times a week, there's things like ice cream or the Milano cookies or Cheez-Its or Goldfish. I don't care. I want to know what he's doing so that when he comes to me and asks me a question, I can say, oh, I saw this. We need to do this so we can shift and pivot. I don't care if you're only eating 6 ounces of steak a day, but if you're only eating 6 ounces of steak a day, period, that's all you're eating, and then you're trying to do a body pump class, a spin class, and a Zumba class all in one day and wondering why you can't lose weight, I'm going to tell you, you're stressing your body out too much. We need to either add calories or cut activity. There are so many people that come to me with broken metabolism for a variety of different reasons. Some of it has to do with infections that are hanging out in their system. Sometimes it's toxic overwhelm and overload. And sometimes it is simply they're not giving their body what it needs. I'm teaching a class on Thursday, September 4th on metabolism. There is a place for you to sign up if you go hit my picture. And for people that register and stay till the end, I'm doing a drawing. I'll be giving away a fasting mimicking kit, and I will be giving away my 3 cookbooks for people who stay to the end. So if you're interested in knowing how to actually fix all of your metabolism so that you have better energy, so that you have better sex drive, so that you have better muscle tone, so that you have less of the things that you don't want and more of everything that you do want, including feeling more comfortable in your own skin and in your own clothes, go hit that link, register for the class, and show up. No, there's not a replay.